Blast off. Hey, how you going, guys?
How are you, Matthew?
Good, thank you. And you?
Very well.
You're happy holidaying
tonight. It feels like such a long time.
Yeah, it has been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, I guess. Count the week between the 2 weeks, before the 2 weeks. So,
so here we are again.
Wow. I know, looking just like old times. Looking forward to tonight's chat.
Thank you. Yes, me too.
And if you're here, say hi. And thank you for joining us. I'll do a little bit of housekeeping as per usual, and then I will skedaddle. So to start with, we are live in a couple of places. We are on Matthew Greenwood Spiritual Journeys page, live there. And we're also live over on mytimetv.live tonight. So if you are on either of those pages, you can comment. We will see what you are commenting. And Matthew, if you want to ask any questions, Matthew will be able to respond. If you see us on any other page, we're also cross-posted to other pages. So we are on also the Women in Business Amplified page and a couple of other pages. If you're watching from over there, please come over to Matthew Greenwood Spiritual Journeys page, or we won't see what you're commenting. And we'd love to see you and see your questions, read your questions. Please also remember there's a little ticker down here that's going, hang on, it's going that way.
There it is.
Please remember to make sure that your friends and families and loved ones see this information, because it's fascinating and it's all going to help us get our get grounded and get our lives healed. And I think tonight's going to be particularly interested in tapping into some things that help us on our way. We do have a chat bot hooked up. So if you get a message, if you've made a comment and you get a message from the inside your messenger, your Facebook Messenger, that says you can register for a spirit guide reading. We draw one every week. When they're here every week, Matthew will draw a winner from the previous week for a spirit guide reading, and you will get an opportunity to register for that when the chat bot lets you know you can do that. If you get a message saying, hi, it's good to see you here, and you're already registered, so if you've been interacting with the chat bot, you may get that message. So know that you are already registered. On that note, I'm going to pass it over to you to announce the winner from the last time that you were live, and also maybe say hello to some of the people who are here. And
definitely. Yeah. Thanks, Adair. See ya. So, a few hellos. Hey, Mary, Kylie, Trish, Julie, we've got Janet and Doogie. I know Doogie. All right, so first of all, winner from last week is Sarah Armstrong. So, Sarah, I believe you came to a talk, and you've won a free reading with me. So we'll talk soon. So I wanted to just do a little plug for something I'm running on Sunday. I didn't advertise this fact on Facebook. So this is so think yourself special. It's kind of a invitation only. So I'm putting the invitation out to anyone here in Adelaide that would like to come up to Mount Crawford Forest on Sunday. We're going to be going on a little trip just to find there's some interesting energy up in Mount Crawford. There's a couple of portholes, energetic portholes that galactic beings use, and which I've physically seen a particular galactic being up there. And so we're going to go up there and do a meditation by one of the portholes. So if you would like to be a part of that, please text me on 0410 658 797. I have enough room for about another, let's say, 5 to 6 people. So first in, best dressed. So if you would like any more information on that, yeah, just give me a text and I can give you the details. And look forward to seeing you there on Sunday. And just another couple of hellos to Janine, Thomas, and hello. Mary's going to jump in on that one. Good. Excellent. So we're going to do a little grounding exercise first. And as usual, so this is that grounding exercise I advise for people to do just to keep their energy stable. And hey, Danny, I can see your message. Good on you. Hope things are going well in Western Australia. Yes, so this grounding exercise is perfect to keep your energy stable through whatever comes our way. And this year we have had much come our way energetically. So we need to keep our energy stable, and because it's getting rocked fairly easily by this energy that's sweeping through this year in particular. So hi, Fiona. So let's go with this meditation, and then we can get usual story. Maybe this has got to do with this energy I was talking about. Anyway, I'll keep talking. We're going to do a meditation now, so we'll just see how we go. All right. So if you close your eyes...
Matthew, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Can you hear me, Matthew?
Yes, I can.
I'm just going to refresh the screen. Can I get you to refresh yours as well, please? You've got two cameras going, so I'm just going to take one out.
Yep.
And then just refresh. So when you're here, if you're looking at the screen with the pen and the piece of paper, can you just hold fast and we won't be a moment. We'll just refresh. So just refresh your screen, Matthew. Okay, so we've got me on and you in. There we go. Let's get me off and pop you in. I tell you what, this is the fun of live streaming. Anything can happen and anything will happen. I'm just going to pop out again and we'll see how we go. Yep, the energy's massive, isn't it? Yeah. Okey-doke. So over to you.
Thanks, Adair. Oh, look, we're back. Magic. All right, someone's got a good magic fairy wand. All right, let's get on with this. So if you can please close your eyes and just begin to take some nice, deep, full breaths. And with those breaths, just remember that every time you take a conscious breath, you're literally taking in nice, clean life force from all around you. And just continue that cycle of breathing in that life force. And so now, with the next breath in, taking a really deep one in, and then with the breath out, I'd like you to push that life force down through your body, down through your base chakra, your legs, your feet, and then down into the earth. So just for a few breaths, just continue that cycle of breathing until you feel tingling or warmth down near your feet. No, this isn't your feet falling asleep through poor circulation. It's not that. It's energy. Okay, so now with your base chakra nice and open, connecting with surface earth, now take a nice deep breath in again. This time we're going to go down to the deepest chakra point we have. Then with the breath out, pushing it right down to the core of the earth. to our earth chakra. This is a chakra that aligns with the earth's core chakra. And so we're connecting with the earth at its deepest level. And again, just continuing that cycle of breathing until you feel not so much just tingling in your feet, but a sensation around your body as well, around the rest of your body. This is a much deeper level of grounding. Fantastic. So as you hold that space, just get used to it, because for some people, this is a new type of energy to really connect with. It's a much deeper level of earth energy. And now, once you have that, now relaxing your breath. We're going to shift into a different gear as far as energy goes. We're going to connect with the God force within us, which is called, the technical name for it is core star energy. So if you can bring your awareness to the center of your physical body to start with, and as you connect with that level of your physical energy, now imagine diving beyond physical into the depths of your energy system within, and just keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper until you feel or see a high vibrational energy source. And so once you connect with that, now allow that energy to expand out from within your body, within your energy system. Imagine it expanding out from deep within, connecting with every cell in your body. You know, and if you could look at each cell under a microscope, they would be vibrating at a high frequency, because you're literally lifting the vibration, the frequency of your physical body with this. Now expanding out beyond your physical into the human aspect of the energy system, which expands out to about 3 meters, 3.5, 3 to 3.5 meters for the average person. So filling that space all around you with light. Once that's filled, now on the count of 3, I'm going to get you to just let that energy explode out in all directions. Up, down, left, right, front, back. And what I'd like you to do is not just expand it out through space, but expand it out through time into your future. So, 1, 2, 3. Let it go. Just let it explode out. Limitlessly. No boundaries. And imagine as it shoots out through space and then shooting out through time into your future, as you expand that light out into your future, set a little intention as it expands out, that light shines the way and the path to your optimum spiritual growth, and to connect with your spiritual purpose for being here. And again, just let yourself embrace that energy once you've put that intention out there, just let it go. Surrender to it. No need to think about it again. Otherwise, your head just gets in the way of that intention. It's like a prayer. It's the same thing. An intention is no different to a prayer. Beautiful. Okay. So, just to gently bring yourself back from that, don't jump your eyes open yet. I'd like you to bring your awareness nice and gently back to your physical body. Don't pull that light in. Let it stay expanded out. You're not going to burn out, or nothing's going to get you. The whole reason for raising your frequency is so that your space is protected. So as you bring your awareness back to your physical, now take another couple of breaths in, nice deep ones. And so with the next deep breath in, pulling in that life force once again, and then just reground your energy. So with the breath out, pushing that life force down through your body, your base chakra, your legs, your feet, and then down into the earth. All right. How was that? And I've got a little statement here from Trish. She's saying that Joe DePinto broke the internet. I'll have to have a go at you about that one, Joe. There'll be a bill coming your way. Okay. All right, guys. So talk tonight is about synchronicity, but also it's about seeing the breadcrumbs. So I thought I'd start it off with just a couple of examples, probably major examples for me, and then I'll bring it back to a few smaller ones. So probably the biggest example in following the breadcrumbs was with my experience with getting to the States. Now, I know a few of you may have heard this, but some of you may not have. This is how I ended up making that connection with the tribes in America. So what happened for me, I was in a relationship that we were having a bit of trouble. We were jumping in and out of the relationship all the time. It just wasn't working properly. And so we both decided to go and see a counsellor. Now, because both of us were in the field of counselling, we wanted to use someone that didn't know us, that was a neutral party. And so we both decided to go and find this counsellor that someone had put us onto. And she was great. She helped us to go our separate ways after a little bit of work that we did with her. And what that did, that showed to me that because she was a very good counsellor, I thought, well, you know, I'm in this growing phase. Back then I was hugely in a growing phase, and I wanted to move through all of the stuff I could move through, just so I could be clearer. And, you know, this is a lifelong process, this moving through your baggage. It's you go through different levels of it, and each time you go through a bubble of energy, old energy, what I found was that things just seemed to get better for you in your life. Well, surprise, surprise. Because you're freeing yourself of some old energy it's the thing that's slowing us down. So anyway, I went along to her and I made a choice to see her for a couple more times. And it was great. We both realised that this would be the last session, both myself and the counsellor. And so what happened, she looked me straight in the eye and she said, so you've got a fresh slate. What do you want to do with your life from here? And I said, well, you know, continue my work but also I really wanted to go to America. And she looked at me and she said, "Where in America?" And I said, "Look, of all places, South Dakota." And she looked at me again and she said, "Where in South Dakota?" And she was looking through me at this stage, not just at me. And I said, "Either Rosebud or Pine Ridge Indian Reservation." And she was I can still remember it to this day. She was this is back in 1998, I think, no, 1999. And she just laughed her head off, and she was in a slidey wheelchair and office chair, and she slid back in a chair as she was laughing, and she said, "My grandfather is full-blood Oglala Sioux and lives on Pine Ridge." So that was a bit of a surprise. After I picked my jaw off the ground, she just went on to give me a whole lot of information about the Indian reservations throughout the mid-north of the States. And so what I did was I just rang and wrote letters to the tribal elders, tribal council on each one of these reservations until I got a connection. And I ended up with a phone connection to the chief elder on Rosebud. And we had long conversations on the phone. And long story short, he set me up with a family to live with, and also a teaching position in their college, teaching woodwork, because I'm a furniture maker or ex-furniture maker. And so I put a course together for just doing some nice detailed dovetail joints and mortise and tenon joints. And so I got this gig for 5 months teaching woodwork in their college part-time, and living with a traditional family, doing ceremonies. And I mean, you can't pay for that kind of thing. It just was amazing. And I've got lifetime friends over there from this experience. And I've been adopted into a couple of families, and they're just beautiful people, and very giving. But the whole essence of why I'm giving you this story is, if myself and the lady I was with back then didn't choose to be amicable, and didn't choose to want to go and get some counselling, and also if I hadn't have chosen to go along for a couple more sessions, then I wouldn't have, and also I guess if I hadn't have chosen to be honest and open with wanting to go to America, I didn't have to say that. I could have just said, well, I want to just continue with my work. So I see the breadcrumbs as following your intuition, your energy, or your thoughts. And when those thoughts come up, sometimes those thoughts aren't yours. Sometimes those thoughts are actually your guide's energy. And this is where we probably have to talk a little bit about guides in this, because sometimes, let's say, things play out in our lives that are a little bit beyond us personally. So with guides, they have the same energy as us because they share the same soul as we do. So they're an extension of our soul, just as we're an extension of our soul. So we have the same soul energy. So when they are working with us, even if we don't meditate and we don't know who's there, energetically we share the same energy, so we blend really well together. So when we're really meant to do something, to follow our path, particularly when it really is taking us further on our path, we get these little thoughts sometimes that seem a bit random. You may be driving along in a car, and then all of a sudden, you're just going from A to B, that's your focus. And then all of a sudden you get this thought to go into a bookshop or go into a particular shop. And most people, when they get that, they'll go, "Oh, parking's going to be difficult. I'll just keep going. I've got to get to this place. And a lot of people won't follow that. Whereas I've done that where I was driving past a bookshop and I was kind of running a little bit ahead of schedule anyway, but of where I was actually trying to get to. It was in the city too. And I went into this bookshop, I parked, and surprise, surprise, there was a park right outside the bookstore. So again, synchronicity. And I went into the bookstore and I met this person that she wasn't behind the counter. She was just looking around, and I didn't know her, but something drew me to her, and we ended up having this incredible conversation, which led me on to a particular teacher that I ended up working with, and magical stuff like that happens when you follow your intuition. But sometimes your intuition is a little bit more than your intuition, and it can be your guides. So when that communication comes through from your guides, it will sound like your thoughts, that inner voice of yours, and so that's where it can be a little bit. If you're not used to that kind of stuff, you don't register so much that it's your guides. You think it's you. So this listening to that inner voice is actually really important, particularly for that random stuff that you wouldn't normally think of, when you're driving from A to B, and then all of a sudden this thought just jumps into your head to go into that bookstore you've just passed. That's not normally a conscious choice you would make, but it's connected to something much deeper. So this is where magical stuff happens. It's quite amazing. And to be following that through your life, this is where magical stuff continues to happen. It doesn't just happen once or twice. What happens is when you start to follow those messages, you tend to then create a much stronger communication between you and your guides. And then those messages come more frequently. I'll give you another example. So I was over in Western Australia. I haven't been over there for a couple of years, but I used to do a lot of work over there. I think I was going there pretty much repetitively for about 6 years. And so I was working from a place over there, and normally when I go to places like WA or New Zealand, I'm there for about 2 weeks, and that's pretty much it. So a lot happens generally in those 2 weeks with clients and everything. But for coincidences, and I use that word questioningly, for synchronicity to occur, it's showing you that something's wanting to show up on your radar. So what happened in the space of those 2 weeks? Well, it was actually in the space of a week. I had 2 clients that didn't know each other. One lady was from New Zealand. The other one visited New Zealand quite a lot. And both of them said to me independently, and like a few days in between each of them, that, what you do would just go really great over in New Zealand in a particular town. And it was the same town. It was a town called Palmerston North in the North Island, about 2 hours north of Wellington. And, once you kind of think, I'll think about having a look at that. But then when 2 people in the space of a few days say that, then something more is going on. And if you don't get that, and look, some people, their life is so busy and their head's so full of stuff, it may not sink in. But for me these days, if I didn't take notice of that, I could quite happily give myself a slapping, because what I could miss out on would be amazing. So what happened, so just to finish the story, so I heard what they said. I registered very strongly with me the name of the town. And so what I did, I just started to Google. So I was Googling this town, and I was looking for New Age shops or crystal shops. And so what happened was I ended up connecting with this one particular shop, and lo and behold, everything came together. And so I've ended up going back now, I think about 5 or 6 times. And so could I have someone just send in a message? I think I'm offline. Yes, I am. Anyone listening? If you could just send a message. Oh, so I'm still on. Okay. So Adair's just told me I'm still on. It didn't look like, because there was nothing coming up in the messages or on my screen. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, now it's all piling in. Yep. Okay, thank you. All right. So following these messages, it leads to amazing things. So these trips to New Zealand have been absolutely fantastic. And I was supposed to go back this year for 6 weeks. I was going to be back because I was going to be working from 4 different towns. And these are through people I'd met over there. Now, it didn't happen this year, but when things open next year, we'll be putting it together. It's just one of these things that is very powerful. And look, guys, I'd love you to share any questions or anything that's happened to you. You know, if you've had synchronicity or the breadcrumbs that you've listened to. And look, another thing to do with breadcrumbs, when I'm taking people through a meditation, and this is so I with my guided meditations that I take people through, you know, people are obviously listening to where I'm guiding them, but then there's a period of time where I leave you to yourself to just experience whatever's going on in that space that I've taken you to. Now, you could see, let's say, something unusual. Say I've taken you to a forest. You could see, say, an eagle in a tree, and so you could just ignore that and just move on. But generally what happens, particularly on a spiritual level, when you would see something unusual, like an eagle in a tree, when I haven't actually guided you to see an eagle in a tree, that eagle is there to take you somewhere. So it's like it's a vehicle to take you deeper in. And it could be taking you anywhere. You could be seeing more about your life, more about your future. It could be anything to do with emotional stuff, which is going to help you to grow. So you grasp onto these things and you run with it. So Donna's just saying something here. When I had met my ex-husband, the guy I worked for in the UK, went to a conference in Boston and met the guy I ended up working for here in Adelaide. Mind you, if I'd known how it would turn out, I wouldn't have bothered. Well, it's all experience. And obviously you needed to meet him for a reason, as there are no coincidences. And the synchronicity that brought you together with him was something that maybe you need to look deeper at to see what there really was there for you. So this is the secret to one of the secrets to spiritual growth, is to be able to determine what are the breadcrumbs. So what I see the breadcrumbs are is little stepping stones that are guiding you somewhere. And if you just ignore them because you're just in a bad mood for that day, and you're just ignoring everything because you're ticked off about something, then no, you're not going to see those. You may see them, but you'll just ignore it, which is a real shame, because it's important to really to follow those things. That's what takes you places. So Sarah, how can you tell the difference between your mind, ego, and guidance? Okay, well, this is the interesting part, because your mind is connected to your guidance. So you have your own filter with your mind. If your mind is full of a lot of busyness, then it's going to be, and this can be ego. The mind in itself, in its positive form, should be open and expansive, and be aware and alert of all things that are coming through. The problem is when the ego is out to play, when you're stressed, when you've got a lot of stuff going on in your head, then you tend not to see the positive stuff so easily. And but the mind actually links up with guidance, and this is the powerful thing. You know, one of the things I've seen over the years with people is when we're say traumatized in youth, one of the things that happens, besides the base chakra shutting down to a degree, the heart chakra shuts down to a degree. Now, what runs us, what drives us, what's guiding us through life is our head and our heart. Now, the two in balance should really be quite powerful. The problem is when the heart's been shut down for a period of time to some degree, it's like the scales of, so here, if that's the heart here, and the heart shuts down, then the head comes in stronger. True balance is when you've got the head and the heart sort of working together like this. It shouldn't be just rock solid. It should be just ever so slightly balancing together, because sometimes the head's needed a little bit more than the heart, and vice versa. But it is the ego that gets in the way. So generally the ego is stress, relates to stress and control. Adair's saying us working together was synchronicity. Yeah, it was. It was very powerful. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for Adair helping me. And so Fiona's saying, I'm looking for a new job and was guided last night to look on Seek. Despite being on the alert email list, I hadn't received any notifications for a day or two, but there on Seek was a perfect job in a perfect place. There we go. So you're just being led to do something, and that's where that magic happens. But see, if you stay in that negative state all the time, and everyone's against you, and you know, if you've got that kind of attitude, then you're not going to be able to connect with that synchronicity, with those breadcrumbs. And this is where the powerful stuff happens. So there's a follow-on from this. When you follow that synchronicity, sometimes it means actually interacting with people, which can be a difficult thing if you've never met them before. So with that example that I had in the bookstore, it's very hard to approach someone in a bookstore when you don't know them. But I was at a point, so I'd been doing this work for about 9 years. So I've been doing spiritual work for about 9 years. And I mean, I was fairly timid in the early days before I started doing spiritual work, and I wouldn't have said boo to anyone if I didn't know them. But because I could feel energy and I could feel this connection to that person for whatever reason, I didn't know what it was. I just felt I needed to go up and say hello. And anyway, we just started talking about, she was very open, and we just started talking about different stuff. I asked her what she did. She asked me what I did. And it's funny how the conversation just started flowing together and leading somewhere. And so this is where, if I hadn't gone over to that person, and if we hadn't had a conversation, it wouldn't have taken me and helped me to connect with a teacher I ended up finding, which was a very powerful point in my life. It helped me to open up into a different direction. And so this was, again, it's just following the breadcrumbs. And, you know, I could, there was something else that happened with America, which I didn't mention in the talk I did probably a month or two ago, when I was talking about the Indian reservation, Rosebud, when I went over there. So in the lead up to going to Rosebud, about 3 months before I went to Rosebud, I had a dream, or it was a meditation, a vision. I wasn't purposely meditating. I think I was looking into a fire, and I saw myself in a forest, and there was a valley that was in front of me, but I wasn't right on the edge of this mountain ridge. There was a wolf in front of me, and the wolf was looking out into the valley, and I was like, it appeared like I was about 10, well, let's say 3 or 4 meters behind the wolf. And just at the end of the vision, it only went for a few seconds, but at the end of the vision, the wolf looked round at me from where he was sitting. So a week or so went by, and then I saw the same vision, except it went further this time. The vision I saw was the wolf again looking out into the valley. Then it turned around and it started pacing back and forward, left to right in front of me. And it was just looking at me wherever it was. So same thing again, it stopped. And then a few weeks later, I saw the same vision again, but it went even further this time. And so this time, the wolf started off the same, looking into the valley, turned around, looked at me, paced back and forward, but then it started prancing around in front of me, and it actually ran past me very closely and grabbed, and I could feel this physically. This was a vision that was very physical, and it grabbed my hand in its mouth. It was tightly but gently, and it kind of yanked. I could feel my arm being yanked to make me come with it, and then that was the last vision that I got. Oh, it also started to. It was like it was playing, wanting to play, and anyway, so I didn't see it again. Then when I spent a couple of weeks in Vancouver first, then I bussed down to, hey Nige, I bussed down to South Dakota, and then Gary picked me up. He's one of the Lakota guys. He's actually my brother now. We went through a ceremony, and he picked me up from the garage. We went to his property, and got to his property, and I saw this white wolf. It was a part wolf, and the wolf in my meditation was white too. And I said to him, "Is that your wolf?" And he said, "It showed up a few weeks ago, and I don't know why it keeps coming back to the house," because he's not really into dogs, because dogs can be a bit of a pest on the reservation, because they pretty much do their own thing. They just run wild. But this wolf was hanging around the house all the time, and he didn't know what to do with it. He wasn't feeding it. He wasn't sort of promoting it being there. And so when I got out of the car, I put the bags in the house, and I went out, and this wolf was just looking at me. And basically, long story short, he started doing exactly what he did in the meditation. And even down to the point where he was starting to get playful. And I mean, I'm a dog person anyway. I love dogs. And but he actually ran past me and grabbed my hand. And he stayed there on and off for the time I was there. And then I rang Gary up a couple of weeks after I got back to Australia. And I said, is that wolf still there? And he said, no, when you left, it never came back. So think about that one. I don't know what that was all about, but I had a great connection with that dog, and it was quite amazing. So I think the energy was, it was like I was meant to go there, you know, to go to America and to go to Rosebud. And it's almost like this wolf was my guide to getting there. You know, it really helped me to maybe underline, okay, I saw it in meditation, but maybe that wolf's energy was with me long before the meditation, and it was the energy that was driving me. And was it a real physical wolf? Who knows? Maybe it was just a spirit wolf. Don't know, because no one ever saw that wolf again. And some of these questions you just can't answer. You just go with it, and but it's where it takes you that's the important thing. It was suggested to me when I was on the reservation to go and see this particular elder, and which after 2 or 3 people had said the same thing, that I should go and see the same elder. I, again, hit me over the head with the brick, but yes, I went and saw him, and he was great. I mean, we talked for about 3 hours. I was at his place, and he went just before I was about to leave. He said, "Don't go anywhere. I'm going to. I just need to get you something. I want to give you something." So he went into one of his back rooms in the house, and he's rattling around in there. And I heard this bang crash, and then he came out with this block of stone. It was a square block of stone, and it was the color of red brick. And I had a hint of what it was. I kind of was pretty sure I knew what it was, but I'd never actually seen it. I'd never been face to face with it. So what it was pipestone, and he gave me this piece of pipestone. Pipestone is called catalanite, and so South Dakota is pretty much up. You've got North Dakota on the Canadian border, right in the middle, from left to right. Then you've got South Dakota below it, and then to the right of South Dakota and North Dakota is Minnesota. Now there's the sacred pipestone quarry is in Minnesota. Now he had got this piece of pipestone from there, and this is the one place in the US where you get this pipestone. And Native Americans from all over the country, before white people came here, would go to that quarry and get pipestone to make their sacred pipes. And let's say the proper etiquette of how you would receive a pipe is to be given a pipe or to be given a piece of pipestone. And it's a pretty special thing to be given this pipestone. And look, I ended up making a ceremonial pipe, which I use these days when I am doing ceremony. And I'd made it, and I took it back to the States with me, and they blessed it in one of the sweat lodge ceremonies we did, which was a beautiful thing. And so again, here we go again. You know, if I hadn't listened to those 3 people that had suggested go and see this elder, then I wouldn't have made that connection with him, and I wouldn't have received that pipestone. And this is the thing that spurs me on these days, because my spider senses are always up and alert, you know, with things, even down to when I'm driving in a car, and the way birds come into your vision. So when a bird comes from the right, swoops in front of the car from the right, it means something's coming to you. So to be alert. If it's coming from the left, I've learnt to understand, to be aware, to be wary, to be very conscious, because there could be something that, like the possibility of an accident or something around the corner. And that certainly happened where a kangaroo has jumped out after I've seen a bird swoop from the left. That's right. And I've had birds swoop right from in front of me. And this is where you basically stop the car, and there's a time and a place for just stopping, slowing yourself down and seeing what's going on. And these sort of things, because I live in Mount Crawford Forest, or near Mount Crawford Forest, there's a lot of bird action out there, and you do find that you're very conscious of what the animals are doing, and it's a very important part of the synchronicity, because animals, birds, that synchronicity, the breadcrumbs are very powerful, even down to when I've worked with people, and when I've worked with people, I've had lots of experiences where either I'm just moving them through one of those emotional bubbles, and where they've let go of a whole lot of old emotions, old energy, and you don't notice it until it happens. Right in that second when they release, the clouds suddenly disperse, and the sun all of a sudden just is shining in the window, and again, that split second when a bubble has been burst, there'll be two magpies outside just start warbling their little lungs out. And this synchronicity, these breadcrumbs are there to prove to you, to show to you that you've just done good stuff. You've just done something amazing for that person. And this is where, again, the magic is for us. And the more we can follow this, the more powerful our lives become, because it helps you to see that you're in a stream of energy. And this stream of energy is literally your spiritual path. I just thought I'd share one thing with you. A lot of people aren't consciously aware of their hara energy. So we know about the physical body, we know about the chakra system and the aura, all of the auric bodies. Core star energy is the highest vibrational energy, so that's that connection to God force within. But hara energy is a bit of a mystery to a lot of people, even a lot of spiritual people. They're not consciously aware of what it is. So what it is, it's a column of light that comes from your soul, comes down through your body, and when it's healthy, it anchors down into the core of the earth. So with the upper part of the hara energy, from soul to the upper chest area, there's a point there, a high vibrational point called your soul seat, or where your soul is seated in the body. This is a point of energy where you could say your spiritual path comes through as a concept. So it's not grounded in the energy of the earth yet. It's a concept when it gets to the upper chest area. It means it's up here. You may have a conscious understanding of what you would like to be doing and what your goal is to be doing, but to actually activate that concept, you need to have a strong base chakra energy, or otherwise that hara energy won't ground into the earth. So base chakra energy is all about emotional baggage. Well, if your base chakra is weak, it's because of emotional baggage that's getting in your way. So the trick is to deal with the emotional baggage. You clean up your energy, you clean up your base chakra. And I've seen in a session where all it took was dealing with one really big whack of old emotional energy, and I've seen that hara energy shoot down into the earth. You can't force the hara open, but what this does, and this particular instance, the lady that had come to see me was a writer, and she'd basically had writer's block, and so what happened was she didn't know why. The book she was trying to write was a children's book on opening up to spirituality, and she couldn't write it. And she's written several books in her life, and so she had to work out what was stopping her. And so what happened was, I took her into a little journey inside. We connected with an inner child, and this inner child took us back to a time in her life when she was growing up. And in her life, her parents were, I guess you could say, evangelistic type religion based. And if she'd said the wrong thing out of place, and friends of theirs may have heard it, she would get a belting for it. And this would happen quite often. And so suddenly her memory came back of all of this, because this was all suppressed. She'd forgotten all about this. And so what happened was she began to see this, and the understanding of why she couldn't write a book for children about opening up to spirituality was quite obvious, because of the issues she had when she was younger. So we cleared that bit of emotional baggage, and that's when I saw the hara energy open up right down to the core of the earth. And I think within a couple of weeks she'd had the book written. So it's a very powerful journey when you can help someone to go through that process. And this is what the hara energy is about. So when you see that synchronicity, when you see those breadcrumbs, it's leading you to opening up that hara energy more. It's like you're on the trail of what's going to get that hara anchored into the earth, if that makes sense. So, look, on that note, we're at 8 o'clock, and I'd really love to thank everyone for being a part of tonight. And we'll be back for more. Now, I'm just going to do a plug for this Monday night coming. So we've got a meditation on Monday night, and you're more than welcome to come and join in on the meditation and be a part of it. And just follow the prompts, and we'll see you on Monday. And yes, I know. Thanks, Mary. I think Adair's got the mic on. So look, guys, I would love to see you on Monday, but if not, I shall see you again on Thursday night next week. Stay safe and safe journeys. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.